This is not moving forward, it is moving backwards. It is only those who are resisting, both inside and outside, who provide the hope for Iran. And that's why this gathering, what you are doing here today, is so important. You know, the contrast between a government that serves its people rather than subjugates them is incredibly stark. We can see it. That should be all of our inspiration for freedom for the Iranian people. It's been almost 8 months now since I left office as a Secretary of State, and when we left, Iran was more isolated and the regime was weaker than ever. However, I must say I've watched the events of the past weeks and months, and I worry. I worry that events in Afghanistan and the posture of the current American administration are allowing the regime to get off the mat and re-strengthen. I know the Iranian people do not want that. It's why we have to keep pressure on our representatives to forgo renegotiating the nuclear deal and avoid paying Iran ransom to either re-enter that deal or because they believe it would be a show of goodwill. Goodwill is not something a terrorist regime understands. We must also ensure that advancements in the Iranian nuclear program are strictly monitored and action taken, whether that's by the United States, other Western nations, or by the IAEA, to ensure they don't just run out the clock on a path, not only to a nuclear weapon, but to a full nuclear program. I must say, over the last year or so of the pandemic, the Iranian regime has used the coronavirus to continue crackdown on its own citizens. These actions are not only ignorant, but malevolent. They've used the pandemic to extinguish uprisings and subdue the Iranian people.